Hey, good Friday morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Welcome to the MLive Morning Weather Update. Um, we'll start talking about next week. Next week, what I see is if you start to get those spring break or winter getaway travel plans, you're going to really want to stick with me here because there's several storm systems or several areas of wintry precipitation to move through our region. And one of them could be quite significant. So we'll keep an eye on that. I want to say one thing, um, in the past, the old saying was, when someone would find out I'm a meteorologist, wow, that must be great having a job where you can be wrong all the time and still keep your job. Well, I hate to tell those naysayers, but um, you know, look at these storms that we forecast. Yesterday's worked out almost exact. Most all this winter's have worked out almost exact. Yeah, somebody can find, well, you said it was going to be 3 inches and it was 5 inches at my house or 2 inches. Timing, duration, intensity, nature of the storm, ending time period of the storm, precipitation amounts. 3, 4, 5 days out now. Not much changing. Um, so yeah, we'll be off by a couple of inches in one of these storms coming up in the next month, and somebody will get on and say, "Wow, you're never right." There, I feel better. Send me a bill. Let's get to it here. All right. So, having said that, it looks like about a 4 to 6 inch band of snow happened north of Grand Rapids through Big Rapids, Reed City to Gladwin, Tawas, right where expected. The highest I've seen is 6 inches. I'll be doing a post on that, a map in a just short time period here. And then south of that, 3 to 4 inches. And then south of that, the 1 to 2 plus the freezing rain and the sleet and the icy road. So it turned out pretty good. Now, what we have right now is we still have some spotty lake effect. Hey, thank you, Sue Escalenon. We still have some spotty lake effect where if you get up right in the right spot, you could kind of be surprised. There is a winter weather advisory in the northwest corner of Indiana. So if you're heading towards Chicago, that is breaking down, but it'll take a couple of hours before it's over. But otherwise, fairly meaningless snowfall. We're seeing some move toward the Lansing area along I-96 right now, and it's cold. So roads can be icy. So be careful. All right. So I'm talking about next week. Looks like maybe one of the more stormy weeks we've had as far as days with precipitation. We're getting into what we meteorologists call, and I give you a big fancy word, a baroclinic zone next week. And that means that there's going to be cold air stacked right next to warm air and disturbances right along that. And typically there are 4 disturbances. Typically the third one is the strongest. And typically the models make too many disturbances, and eventually, as we get to late next week, they'll probably consolidate into one larger storm system. But so here we go. So that's what you're going to be focusing on here. Is let me get a good size for you and everything. That's what we're going to be focusing on, is the number of storm systems and the fact that it does look like we could have another significant precipitation producer. So not this weekend. This is today, and the weather will be improving today, and we get some sunshine too. Hey, good morning, Karen Jacobs from Bay City. John Stack, when's a good day to float a balloon? I wrote about that. The Weather Service floats, what is it, 90 sites a day, twice a day. We have to get all of the data that goes into these models. And by the way, the rest of the world, and I'm assuming the Chinese, the rest of the world shares all of their weather balloon data with us, and we share it with them, because when you have a global model like the GFS, the US model, that forecasts out 16 days or more, you got to know what's happening in Russia, you got to know what's happening in Europe, you got to know all of the global observations. So we actually share as meteorological agencies, all of that stuff. All right, so the weekend, we get into a strong warming trend. And then early next week, Monday afternoon, Monday evening, Monday night, here comes a little system. I'll show you it a little bit closer. So there's system number one. That's mostly in northern Michigan. Then we go into Wednesday and we start to get into what we call overrunning because we're in that baroclinic zone. And look at what we have by Wednesday night. Yes, that's a freezing rain zone and a snow zone. And then by Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon, and even kind of hanging around to Friday. And then we go into next weekend, the baroclinic zone. And this is where this model could be an error. It could consolidate them all into that Thursday storm and it would sweep off. But the point being is, over the next 7 to 10 days, we're going to have 3 or 4 weather systems that could impact travel, could have wintry type weather with it. Let's see. So here is a little closer look. The weekend, dry, gorgeous for any kind of travel. If this is the weekend you escape and head south, you've got a good plan there. No problems. Now, this is Monday night, middle of Monday night, and Monday night to Tuesday morning. So this one would seem to be a UP, northern third of lower Michigan, snow, and not so much for southern, lower into the rain. And then we get into next Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, Thursday. Now, this is still pretty far out, so I would expect some changes. But again, the models are very good at 4 and 5 days out. Just the where will the zone set up? Will it be a little farther north, a little farther south, or whatnot? But the modelers are always tweaking these things, and the accuracy has increased over the decades and it continues to increase all the time. So this is Thursday morning. So yeah, that purple you see is freezing rain. We won't freak out about that just yet, but we do know that in this kind of situation, when we head into March, there's usually a zone of ice in there. The good thing is that if the rest of the extended works out after this, warmer than normal air takes over. So it wouldn't be something where ice would stick around for days or weeks like it could in January or a normal February, I guess I should say, a normal February. So we're watching basically Wednesday, Thursday of next week for something significant. And then we watch next weekend too for something possibly moving through. But the models, again, might need to consolidate those. Let's take a look at the temperatures. Let's see. So today's cold in the mid 20s. And then tomorrow, back to the 40s. Southern half of lower Michigan, back above freezing just about everywhere in Michigan. Sunday, nearing 50 degrees in the southeast third of lower Michigan, let's say. Ann Arbor, Detroit, Lansing, Flint, Saginaw, the Thumb, Grand Rapids, 45, Traverse City. Checking in with about 4 to 5 inches of snow in Traverse City overnight and be in the 40s by Sunday. Monday, 40s in the south, 30s in the north. Tuesday, 30s. Wednesday, maybe starting to ooze colder air in. Look at Thursday. This reeks of a storm system setup. 60 at the Michigan border, just 100 or so miles north of that, north of Grand Rapids, Big Rapids, highs in the 20s. So 60 to 25. So it's at a 35-degree temperature difference in a 100-mile stretch. That reeks of snow, a freezing rain band, and a rain to even thunderstorm band to the south. Then Friday in the low 30s. Then Saturday back to the 40s in the south, and Sunday in the 30s. So my point is that if we do end up with some sort of significant icing, I'm not calling it an ice storm yet, but I'm saying if we end up with a tenth or a quarter of an inch of ice, something that would really impact roadways, it may only last for about a day or two as the sun comes out and temperatures go into the upper 30s after that. But the point is, we are in a stormy pattern. I've kind of been warning you about this for the last couple of weeks, and we'll just keep you updated on that. Right now, plan on traveling early in the week or this weekend. Plan on problems Wednesday into Thursday, and then plan on after that Friday improving but not perfect. So there's your weather scenario in a nutshell. Hey, we had a great crowd today, at times over 350 of us on here. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. Have yourselves a great weekend. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy the warmth. I'm going to write on Monday about what looks to be the earliest death in our modern records of the polar vortex. I have some friends that track that stuff now, and they are seeing the death of the polar vortex. Usually that death happens in April or early May. It's happened as early as March 5th. They believe that the death is underway right now and would call it sometime here in mid-February a death. And that does have major implications on our spring. So I'll talk about that on MLive. Take care. Have yourselves a great weekend. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.